Hey everybody, Mr. Rellis here. I just wanted to touch base with all of you because as of right now, you guys and girls should be progressing on the Unit 2 material, if not coming to a full-on conclusion of the material. Today is the 4th, so I said the deadline for everything regarding Units 1 and 2 will be tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. I'm really have to hold to this deadline, guys and girls, just because of the fact that we have a lot of material that we're covering this month that's going to be, covering an entire year's worth of stuff. But if you are going to have a difficult time reaching that deadline, please email me individually, just because of the fact that I do understand that certain things come up here and there, and I'm not unreasonable, okay? However, when it comes to the Wiki project as a whole, you need to make sure that you do successfully get those completed, especially for Unit 1. Unit 2, you should definitely have it started and progressing towards having it completed, okay? A couple other things I wanted to touch base with all of you on regarding this unit. This unit as a whole, it is awesome. It is definitely one of my favorite units in the entire content we'll be studying. It is just, there's just so much and so many things that are debatable here. I want to, it starts off by talking about this whole issue of England being democratic in some ways, the evolution of Parliament, the role Parliament played throughout the years in order to basically have it be where Parliament is actually the one that is, the democratic institution calling the shots in England, and the King and Queen basically being more of a figurehead or a constitutional monarchy. So the King and Queen had to, more or less, as time progressed, obey the rules and regulations set forth by them by Parliament, which is seen as their democratic institution. Two things I want to highlight about the material covering England, which is the thinkers of Locke and the thinker Hobbes. These two individuals, these English thinkers, were totally different in regards to their mindset. Hobbes believed that people were naturally selfish and wicked and needed an authoritarian ruler, an absolute monarch to keep order, while Locke believed that people were born with these unalienable rights, these natural rights, as he calls them, life, liberty, and property, and that the purpose of a government is to protect these natural rights. And when a government fails to protect these natural rights, the people have the right to overthrow this government. I want you to really think about these two kind of various English thinkers and their philosophies and whatnot in regards to how, what they believe is their appropriate way to be running society and governing. We then turn our attention to the enlightened thinkers such as Voltaire, Montesquieu, Rousseau. We even talk about Diderot, Mary Wollstonecraft, other individuals who are going to be playing a part in the Enlightenment. But really Voltaire, Rousseau, and Montesquieu, in addition to, of course, the English thinkers of Locke and Hobbes. These are the individuals that we're going to be studying about pretty thoroughly throughout this unit. But it's just fascinating because these ideas and concepts of Enlightenment belief, these ideas of, separation of powers, these ideas of freedom of expression, freedom of religion, this idea of like law and order, of just society. It's amazing because of the fact that they had such an impact on the European population at this time. And it also had such an impact, though, on the foundation of the birth of the United States as we know it. We see a lot of Enlightenment ideas and a lot of Enlightenment beliefs in our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, our Bill of Rights, all this stuff here in the United States. And for Europe, you will see that it's going to really kind of take a totally different toll on the Europeans because the French Revolution, that is a clear example of it. As you go through this unit, I want you to think to yourself, what is it that the French wanted? What is it that they wanted? You should note that they changed their their various constitutions throughout every so often. They didn't know if they wanted to be a republic, a constitutional monarchy, whatever. They finally are going to end up executing the king and the queen. They're going to become a republic. That's only going to last for a certain amount because the Reign of Terror is a horrific event that really is going to negatively impact the population, with thousands of people in France being beheaded and dying because of their beliefs. Or as the individuals in the Reign of Terror would call them as, that they'd be seen as enemies of the state. So they would be tried in the morning and executed later that evening. And then once that took place, the Reign of Terror, I mean, that was led by an individual named Maximilien Robespierre. And once Robespierre was executed himself, then we have the creation of the Directory, which is more or less kind of an oligarchy that ruled France. But they soon became corrupt. And as you were able to hear and study, you then have the rise of Napoleon, who basically got his claim to fame by protecting this Directory, shooting a cannon out into the crowd and dispersing it, and being claimed as the hero of the revolution. And then you have the rise of Napoleon, because he then becomes first consul, and that's the leader of France. And then he becomes first consul for life. And then he takes the throne, or not the throne, but the crown from the Pope himself, and crowns himself emperor, thus illustrating that he was more powerful than even the Pope, which, as you know, during this time period, the Pope is considered the closest thing on earth to God for the Catholic Church. So, I mean, then you have the birth of Napoleon and the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, and like, what's going to happen with him? Is this guy a good guy, or is he a bad guy? And the philosophy of Napoleon remains debatable today. So, it's going to eventually take place with Napoleon establishing one of the largest empires since the Roman Empire, with lots of countries under his authority, him calling the shots, having a lot of allied nations. And this is going to become pretty problematic. But the thing I really want you to think about when it's all said and done, and one of the most important parts of this unit as a whole, besides everything that we're talking about, which is fascinating, but the ending as a whole, with the whole issue of the Treaty of Versailles. What is that? The Congress of Vienna, in regards to what was that all about? Prince Clemens von Metternich, the future heir to the Austrian Empire, when he calls in Russia, Prussia, Austria, England, and they have this Congress of Vienna where they decide what is a post-Napoleonic world going to look like. And the sad thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, these ideas, these Enlightenment beliefs were classified as being liberal ideas that basically put too much power and authority in the hands of the common men and women. And this is what it results in: chaos, destruction, the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. And so all these leaders in the Congress of Vienna said, we're not going to have that again. We need to establish the old regime, the law and order, how it was, with just the king and queen calling all the shots and people having a very minimal say. And as you all are well aware, after Napoleon took over all of Europe, the rise of nationalism took place as well. So people were more cognizant of their national relationship, their national identity to their own countries, and not necessarily anymore of that of the king and queen anymore. Okay, they were more cognizant of their relationships with their nation and other individuals like them who have the same customs, beliefs, speak the same language, etc., as opposed to their leader as a whole. So the 19th century, as you will see, after the fall of Napoleon Bonaparte and the Congress of Vienna takes place, and then you have the Concert of Europe established, you have the Holy Alliance established. The 19th century in Europe could be defined as just that, of being conservative, repressed. The people who wanted to have and exercise their voice and have a freedom of expression, they were immediately crushed. This idea of freedom of religion, granted a little bit, but not too much. The 19th century for Europeans you didn't have a lot of rights then. And it's a shame because of the fact that they believe that it's because of these liberal ideas that are going to just cause chaos and destruction. Even though across the Atlantic you have us colonists in the New World forming our society, and we're doing good. And it's not to say that the United States was perfect at that time. I mean, obviously not, considering we're later then going to have a civil war later on in the 19th century. But for the most part, we did okay when it came to utilizing Enlightenment thoughts to shape our government. But the Europeans, they don't want that anymore. So I think that you guys and girls are going to love this unit. It's fascinating, and I hope that you really get a lot out of it. Okay, some logistical things. When it comes to logistics, in the Welcome to Accelerated World History folder in the help videos, I posted a new video entitled, it's called Wiki Content. And basically it's just a short screencast showing you how and what tools to utilize for certain aspects of the Wiki project, all right? So when you're creating your Unit 2 Wiki project, I encourage you to watch this beforehand just so you get a better understanding of what it is I'm looking for, what tools you should be utilizing to create these historical figure, historical spotlight, summary, how to integrate your notes from Google Docs into it. What am I looking for with the wiki sites, in regards to the the website links, which are valuable, how I want that laid out, etc. So there's some logistical things there. Okay, guys and girls. With that said, once again, let's please try and operate with tomorrow's deadline of 11:59 p.m. being the deadline for both Unit 1 and Unit 2. It is definitely going to be the deadline for the Unit 1 material, but if you do need an extra day to complete the Unit 2 material, like I said, just email me and we'll see what we can do, okay? But overall, guys and girls, I hope you're enjoying this class. I hope you're enjoying the flexibility it provides you with. If you do need to work on the weekend, hey, that's the name of the game. Please do so. But that should not be consuming every single moment of your life, okay? Overall, like I said, it's very flexible. The work itself, it's not too difficult, but just stay on top of your stuff, okay, guys and girls? And please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I usually respond right away. If I haven't responded to you yet and you've emailed me, I do apologize, and I'll be getting back to you today, okay? On that note, have yourself a great day, guys and girls.